Chris, welcome back to our show. This is part 3 of 3, a short little video series that we're doing on alcohol. And you have been coaching people to get away from alcohol for many years now. Sober Coach Chris, check him out on social media. And you're going to talk about understanding alcohol. What do you mean by understanding alcohol?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is, I don't think most people really understand how detrimental and dangerous and deceptive alcohol is because it's so widely accepted in our society. So it just gets this free pass. If you start doing some research and you start really digging into it, you see just how bad it is and how it's affecting so many areas of your life. You know, it kills more than 3 million people every year worldwide. And most people, like, I had no idea about that. And then you think about all of those 3 million people and their friends and their family, how has this ripple effect. It's the only drug that makes people violent. It causes 7 different types of cancers. It is a toxin. It's a fuel. It's a detergent. Doctors use it before they go into surgery, they use alcohol to clean their hands. It's not soap, it's alcohol, because it kills everything on a cellular level. And yet we're putting this into our bodies, mixed with a little bit of cranberry juice, and we think nothing of it, and it's just, it has unrestricted marketing. Like they can market any way they want. And it's not like other things. Like, I always tell my clients about this. Like, imagine if nobody knew what alcohol was and somebody invented it and brought it onto Shark Tank, and they tried to describe it to the sharks, and they said, well, yeah. And they're like, the sharks spit it out. They go, oh, this is awful. Why would we want to invest in this? And they go, well, yeah, but, we're going to get all these people hooked on it, but it's going to, cause unwanted and unplanned pregnancies. It's going to, DUIs, accidents, all these things. It's going to kill 3 million people worldwide every year. You wouldn't get the product to market, right, in this day and age. But because it's been around for so long, because it's been handed down from generation to generation, it's kind of just accepted as, oh, well, this is just a part of our lives. And, it doesn't have to be anymore. And I just think, like, when I was a drinker, I kind of knew, okay, alcohol's not great, but I kept my head in the sand to the real facts about it, because I knew if I didn't do that and I started digging into the research, that it would be hard for me to deny it. And so once I did get into the research, I was like, okay, there's no way I want to do this anymore. And so I would encourage people to really read the books. There's some great ones out there on this. Alcohol Lied to Me by Craig Beck is an amazing book. Alcohol Explained, This Naked Mind. There's a ton of great books on this subject. But knowledge is power only if it's implemented, right? Like, we can read the books and we can go, oh, yeah, that's awful. Oh, man, yeah. But if we don't do anything with it, we forget, and we kind of fall back into this, well, everybody else is doing it, so it must not be that bad. And so I just really encourage people to look into what alcohol is, what it's doing, how it's affecting more areas, like your sleep, for one. Sleep is so important, and alcohol is ruining your sleep. And if you're not getting good sleep, the rest of your life is just going.
Absolutely. It's the most important thing we can do with our health is sleep. And people think that alcohol helps them sleep. Well, Shawn, I just have 2 drinks a night just so I can, go to sleep. It helps me go to sleep. And in some ways, that's correct. It's a CNS depressant, so it does help you go to sleep initially. But after it wears off 4 hours later, it disrupts your sleep. And the only way you can figure this out is just not drink. Yeah. And you'll realize how much better you sleep through the night when you don't drink.
Yeah. And, the thing is, too, like, the alcohol can stay into your system up to 14 days. So if somebody has not drank for a while, but they go, oh, I'm just going to have 1 drink, even 1 sip can affect you for up to 14 days. So it's just not worth it, because it's just, it's affecting your body in so many ways. And man, once you get it out of your life and you get far enough away from it, you see it for what it is. You see the people around and how alcohol changes them. And, you come from a place of gratitude. You go, okay, thank God I'm not in that place anymore. Not in a judgment way, because, I understand what it's like to be a drinker, and I don't have any judgment. I don't like to preach. If you want to drink, you go ahead and do it. That's you. But I just love when people can kind of get to that place where they have this gratitude, like, oh my God, thank God I'm no longer a slave to this poison that's been affecting me for so long.
Well, and back on the advertising thing, alcohol is the only drug we glamorize.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that. It is glamorized. You just watch a sporting event on TV, watch commercial, any TV, and you will see alcohol being glamorized and how much fun people have when they drink. We don't do that with any other drug, and we don't have to ask anybody why you don't do a drug. But with alcohol, it's like, oh, you don't drink? Well, why don't you drink? I mean, we don't do that with heroin. Oh, you don't shoot heroin? Well, why don't you shoot heroin? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. And sometimes I'll say that with the comparison with heroin, and people are like, wow, come on now. But okay, right. Heroin is the #1 most addictive substance on the planet. You know what number 2 is? Alcohol. Heroin kills about 100,000 people worldwide every year. And again, alcohol kills about 3 million people worldwide every year. And I just don't think that people understand how destructive it is. And how much of a slow burn it is too, to get hooked on alcohol. Whereas other drugs, you kind of get hooked right away. But yeah, it's just, we need to, like, if you can kind of look at alcohol the same way you look at something like heroin or other really dangerous drugs, the way that we view those, you can kind of start to see alcohol for what it really is. And that's a major key in becoming alcohol free.
Right. Well, thank you for that, Chris. Always a pleasure to have you on our show and to educate and empower individuals to take charge of their own health. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shawn. I appreciate you having me on.